Thursday, December 11th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Jason Cooper, for the next hour and a bit, alongside my producer, Jacob Gamegna. We got a great show for you today, and some of you might have noticed, Quack Pack today. We are the Quack Pack today. I finally remembered my Ducks jersey. So
it's a nice jersey.
Thank you. It's got to be one of the best jerseys of all time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Even the color scheme itself.
I love the turquoise.
Yes.
I like the old San Jose Sharks jerseys.
Turquoise,
as well.
the
and
teal.
current.
Even like what color is this? Is this like maroon red? Like I don't even know what type of like purple /
Yeah, it's like a dark
red.
purple. I don't think quite maroon, but
I don't know. It's just great.
It's quality
great.
jersey.
Plus the logo
and the logo's elite. All time.
Incredible. Maybe we got to do like an all-time jersey list. This is like off-season content, but like we'll do like a ranking of the best jerseys of all time. I feel like a bunch of hockey jerseys will probably be up there because I feel like they just have like some of the coolest looks.
Yeah.
Favorite NBA jersey that comes off your mind?
Raptors,
the Raptors
purple
one?
dino.
Purple? Yeah, that's probably the best. What about the Grizzlies one? Was that like...
That was elite as well.
Okay.
And another one comes to mind is the Hawks in like the Dikembe Mutombo era. There's like a big hawk across the front, the black and red gradient. That's an all-timer for me as well. Okay, yeah. You look it up if you don't know that one.
I'm going to look... Okay, yeah, that one's sick. All right. Anyways, got a great show for you today. We got Jack Miller coming on, talking some NFL props. We got Anthony Dabbundo coming on, talking about his Colts, which should be, a
lot different than last time he was on, I think.
Yeah. I was actually praising his Colts. I seem to be stroke of... Hitman's going to come on, talk some Thursday Night Football. He has been on fire, by the way, for my gun to his head forced touchdown bets. Like, we keep saying don't play them, but like, this one's going to lose this week. Just watch. But he's been like really freaking good. It always seems like Hitman has like the right... His compass for anytime touchdown scores always seems to be pretty good. So
I think a lot of people could say that Hitman's don't play this is better than
most
their own play this.
I would agree with that. And then finally we close things out with Edgework overtime. So should be a fun show. Do us a favor before we get into the show. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching on Twitter, go do those things because some people think they're subscribed and they're not. Just make sure, double check you're subscribed. I think we're at like 40. I don't know how many subscribers we're at. We're at a good amount though. We've been seeing our subscriber count increase.
4232.
4232. We've seen it actually increase over the last couple weeks when I've been saying like just make sure you're subscribed because it seems like a bunch of people, like they've told me they think they're subscribed but they're not. Mm-hmm. They're like shit. I didn't even realize. So throw us a bone. Subscribe. Also, quick reminder: if you want to fire on Week 15 bets, we got our best bet show today, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. Rob, Austin, Suma giving out their 3 best bets each. That's today, 5 p.m. Eastern time, Forward Progress YouTube channel. Also, while you're there, you might as well check out the 8 p.m. watch along with George and Alex.
Whoa. Alex is there?
Not in person. He'll never be there in person. But yeah. You're going to want to tune into that. Before we bring on Jack, though, quickly. If you were following the Sharon Moore situation last night, that entire thing was absolutely insane. And I think the craziest part of it all, first of all, terrible what he did. Terrible, allegedly, of like why he got arrested. I'm not going to go super into the details of that because I don't even know how much of it is true. He is arrested, though. I know that. How does Michigan come out on top of all this? It's actually insane. Sharon Moore was not a good head coach for them. They wanted Sharon Moore gone. They were able to fire him with cause.
Well,
did they do this?
It's not a great look for the program.
Of course it's not a good, but we've seen worse. We've seen guys get into on scooters with their mistress, get into car accidents. We've seen crazier stuff happen here with programs, and they've been okay. It's just, listen, this is college football is some of the best theater in the entire world. People talk about F1 and soccer, the pageantry of it all. It's like, no. College football is where it's at. If you know, you know. This stuff is absolutely insane. So, sad situation. Obviously, feel bad for his wife, who's basically being put on blast in front of the entire world, which sucks. She's the real victim in this situation. But somehow Michigan comes out on top. It's crazy.
Don't cheat on your significant other,
especially if you're making millions of dollars. Especially with a staffer like that. But it's like, be a little smarter. Anyways, maybe we get Gruden in Michigan. Who knows? A lot of people saying Michigan knew about the affair and waited to break it because of National Signing Day. They wanted to wait for that to National Signing Day to blow over. Anyways,
there was a leak December
There were
1st.
so many leaks. There were so many people tweeting.
The earliest I
like,
saw was December 1st.
There's also like a clip from like this year of like the Big Ten Network showing Sharon Moore, and she's like right beside him. Like it's like in like pregame. I don't know. They're chatting. It's like
who's on the Ford Progress account?
I don't know. Get on your actual account so we know who it is. Anyways, let's get into
probably Mike.
Probably Mike.
He's doing some uploads. It's probably Mike.
Okay. All right. That would make a lot of sense. All right. Before we get into things though, I mean no. Let's just get into things.
Let's do it.
He does NFL fantasy betting and projections over at Establish the Run. Jack Miller, how's it going?
It's going good. Glad to be on again. Thanks for having me on, and glad to be here.
Excited to have you back. I have like a kind of crazy question that I haven't put on. Save that for the end. Something that Adam Levitan did many moons ago, and I might have to do. So I'm gonna have to ask you about that. But anyways, let's talk about let's lead things off with the Colts and Jets quarterback situation here, because we have Riley Leonard, Brett Rippon, or Phillip Rivers starting for the Colts. Fields and Taylor for the Jets. Both are on the injury report, which would leave Brady Cook, who, listen, I pride myself on knowing almost every single – I've never heard of Brady Cook in my entire life. I don't know who this guy is. How do you guys handle these projections with, like, so much uncertainty heading into the week? Like, how do you project this stuff? Is it just like a guessing game?
Kind of. What I'm doing is mostly on the running back, wide receiver, tight end stuff, and then Michael Leone, who's really good. He's like the head of our data team, basically. He handles a lot of the quarterback stuff, so he is more in the weeds on exactly how to do that. But I know for Cook, we factor in like draft capital and all that stuff, but we don't have really any sample size of him at the NFL level, so it is kind of a guessing game. We can make educated guesses, obviously, because he's a day 3 rookie quarterback, and typically those don't really pan out. So I think that's one where we have a process that we've had to use, at least a fair amount in the past. Like every year, pretty much, especially near the end of the year, there's some day 3 backups who find themselves starting. Rivers is the one where it's pretty unprecedented, where he, on a yards per attempt basis, he wasn't really bad at all when he retired, but that was almost 5 years ago. So we have him docked pretty aggressively, assuming he's going to be the starter, which is what we're assuming at this point, but it does seem like it's up in the air. But that one, I think, be optimistic. But I do think that he's probably better than Brett Rippon, even at his age.
All right. Probably better than Brett Rippon. So it seems like you're thinking Riley Leonard is probably not going to be playing this week. So you think it's probably going to be Rivers and Cook?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Cook, assuming Fields and Tyrod are out. In that event, obviously, it would be Cook. And then for the Colts, it seems like they really don't want it to be Rippon. So I think it comes down to either Rivers or Leonard. Leonard seems like he's going to be healthy enough to play, but all the stuff yesterday kind of made it seem like they want Rivers to be the guy. So we'll see if he can really get up to speed in 3 days. But at this point, I mean, it's not like an opinion I hold strongly, but I would guess Rivers if picking today, yeah.
Equal in the chat, very, very big Colts fan, says Rivers and Cook, lock it in. And it seems like the line of communication between Rivers and Steichen has been like open all year. There's reports that he was like helping him out, coach his like kids' high school team, but designing plays, things in that nature. So maybe this was always in the back of the mind of Shane Steichen, or it just, serendipity happened to, lose he doesn't want to lose Daniel Jones. Happened to lose Daniel Jones and say, hey, this might be a good backup plan, better than Brett Rippon. Let's move from one quarterback or two quarterbacks discussion to another quarterback discussion here. Kenny Pickett versus Geno Smith. In the snaps that we saw Kenny Pickett play last week for the Raiders, I thought he looked better than Geno Smith, which really isn't saying much, but does look better. So do you think if Kenny Pickett is for sure starting, this offense will sort of get a lift where everyone on the offense might be a little bit better if Pickett is the one who's starting?
I mean, it can't get worse. I don't really think it will be materially better. Pickett has not been very good throughout his NFL career. 6.3, I think, career yards per attempt. And it's a tough matchup. I know he was fairly efficient in a tough matchup last week in a limited capacity, but I don't really think all of a sudden we're going to see a significant improvement from the Raiders offense.
Yeah. All right. So really no difference there. Maybe a couple yards here and there, but yeah, Kenny Pickett might be the guy over Geno Smith. Some concussion protocol to talk about. T. Higgins, first of all, what happened to T. Higgins in that game, and whoever was the doctor, that guy should be fired. He got like 3 separate concussions in that game, or however you want to describe it, just the same concussion re-aggravated. I don't know how concussions work. He was very clearly concussed basically the entire game. He was somehow able to finish the game. I remember seeing him catch a touchdown. I'm like, how is T. Higgins still in the game? Anyways, T. Higgins probably not playing this week as a result of those concussions. CeeDee Lamb in the same boat. Hard to come back after 1 week when having a concussion. So when CeeDee Lamb was out, we saw Flournoy kind of be elevated. Pickens didn't have a great game, but like let's throw Pickens out of the mixture here. If Flournoy and Ferguson are sort of neck and neck in terms of yards, who do you think would eke the other one out? And then I have the same question for the Bengals here. Throw out Jamar Chase. Assuming T. Higgins is out, Yoshivas and Mike, assuming those guys are lined the same, around the same yardage total, who would you rather have?
Yeah, on CD, I think he has a chance to play because it's a long week since they played Thursday. Mm-hmm. So we're having him in right now. I think if he's out, we don't have that built out right now. But I kind of would guess it would be Flournoy. He's been a pretty effective target earner. 0.22 targets per route run. That's pretty good. 8.1 yards per target. That's also pretty good. Ferguson has earned targets at a pretty decent rate all year, but he's only at 6.2. Yards per target was 5.7 last year. So he's getting the volume, but he doesn't really turn that into yards as much as Flournoy has, at least this year. So from a yardage standpoint, I think it would be Flournoy. We would likely have Ferguson for more targets, though. It's just the efficiency gap. But that's I'm kind of guessing there since we do have CDN, since he will have 10 days. On the Bengals, it seems like Higgins is definitely going to be out. I think Gesicki would be in line for more volume than Yoshivas. In the 2 games T missed already, or maybe Chase was out one game, Higgins was out the other game. Yoshivas had a 19% target share and a 4% target share. Mitchell Tinsley actually had more targets. He had 16 and 19% target share. And dating back to last year, we've really seen Gesicki step into a pretty monster role when T. Higgins has been out. So I think Gesicki would be the primary beneficiary. And then I think Yoshivas would likely run more routes than Mitchell Tinsley. But from a production standpoint, there really hasn't been much of a gap. And you could even say Tinsley has been better. So I think Tinsley would be right there with Yoshi, assuming Higgins is out.
Okay, interesting. Because I've seen a couple beat writers on Bengals Twitter sort of like beat the Tinsley drum. So it seems like he might be someone to consider over Yoshivas here if they're lined closer together. Last one I have for you is Romo Dunze. He might. It's kind of early. It's a Thursday. We don't have the practice report just yet. But if he misses another week here, the main benefactor last week was Luther Burden. Also, second benefactor was Colston Loveland. DJ Moore seems to be, I don't want to say an afterthought, but he seems to be almost that third option in this offense. And if you look around at some spots, they have the wide receiver yardage totals listed for these guys, and DJ Moore is the least of all of them, with Loveland being around like 34.5 and DJ Moore being around 30.5. Burden, I believe, is in the 40-ish, depending on where you look. Do you agree with that sort of distribution here, or do you think we can see like sort of a pendulum swing back for DJ Moore?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. We just really haven't seen DJ Moore earn targets at a high level this year. It doesn't really seem like he's a big priority. And I did think it was interesting how they used their wide receivers last week. Burden in the 3 weeks prior to Rome Odunze going down was at 61%, 51%, and 50% route participation. Even last week without Odunze, he was only up to 62, and Olamide Zaccheaus was at 74%. So they kind of put Olamide in the full-time role and kept Burden as the wide receiver 3. But from a target and production standpoint, obviously Burden was the best receiver there, and we're projecting Burden as the wide receiver 1 despite being third in routes last week. And then we also have a bump on Loveland from where we'd usually project him with Rome, and we also have a bump on Komet because they used more 2 tight end stuff last week. but yeah, I generally just think that DJ Moore hasn't really shown the ability to get a big target share this year, and so it makes sense to lean into that and not have too high of expectations for him. If Rome's out, it seems like he could play.
All right, makes perfect sense there. Yeah, I think I agree with all those moves here. I've been sort of down on DJ Moore all year, as I think people of this show tend to know. All right, favorite time of the segment here. Deep cut, anytime touchdown. Time to reach deep in that bag. Mix it around. Take a look. Pull one out for us. What do you got?
Yeah, I've got two because I don't think the first one is deep enough.
Okay.
It's a fairly big name player. It's just longer odds. I'm gonna go with Tony Pollard plus 330. He had the big game last week. And really he's separated from Tyjae Spears as the early down guy. There was a point around midseason where they were kind of treating them as equals, and Pollard was playing, and Spears was getting more of the early down work than we'd seen from him in the past. They're back to the rotation we're used to seeing over the past couple of years, where Pollard is the clear early down guy. 74% of design carries in week 14, 77% in week 13. He's out carrying Tyjae Spears in the red zone 13-4 this year. So I just think that the odds are too long given the rushing workload that he's gotten so far, in recent weeks at least. Mm-hmm. And then if that's not deep enough, I'm going to go really, really deep and say Colson Yankoff, 19-1 on FanDuel. He is the tight end 3 without Zach Ertz. And last week, in a very, very limited sample size, he was playing on some of the clear pass downs. I don't expect him to be their primary tight end. I think he is their tight end 3, with Ben Sinnott maybe playing on pass downs and John Bates as the early down blocker. But he did play at least a little bit last week, and without Ertz, there is some path to snaps here. And so I think 19-1 is probably okay.
Yeah, and also company man over here, look at you giving us the best price in market for at FanDuel for both these guys. Tony Pollard plus 330, Colson Yankoff 19-1. And off the top, I talked about Sharon Moore. Maybe he can learn from Ben Sinnott, who notably has 2 girlfriends, which is pretty interesting fun fact there, as some people saw with the draft. And now final question here. It's funny that you picked Colson Yankoff, because speaking of Yankoff, there's been a lot of talk about 6, 12, 18, and 24 challenge. I don't know if you're familiar with it. You might be, but I do believe Adam Levitan did that challenge many, many years ago. So there's some talk about it here on the channel. What would be your, catching a little off guard here, what would be the most optimal distribution of the 6, 12, 18, 24 challenge? If you need a refresher, you tell me and I can give you more details.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I haven't thought about it in a while, so I'm Googling it right now. I know Levitan has done it. Levitan had it like, I forget who it was, but Levitan had it like verified. Like there was someone like verifying like everything. It was
that's crazy.
Crazy. Okay.
So you have to.
I have 24 hours.
24 hours to do it. What do you think the optimal combination would be? Beers, donuts, miles, and then we'll call it Colson Yankoffs.
Let's say. Okay, I think I have to eat 24 donuts.
Okay.
I think that wouldn't even be that hard. I guess. This requires a lot of thought. I really got a lot.
It's all good. Well, maybe talk to Levitan and then come back to us. I don't know. It's up to you. I didn't want to. If I'm putting you on the spot.
No. How much time do you have? Because I gotta think through this one. Definitely 18 donuts. I think. Can
you run 24 miles?
I cannot. I actually can't run at all right now because I hurt my back playing basketball. So I'm physically unable to do the challenge at the moment. But maybe over the summer, when I'm in running shape, I could probably run 12 miles. I think I either have to run 6 or 12 miles, which I guess means we'll say I run 6 miles. I'll do the Colson Yankoffs. We'll say 12, and I guess that's 18 beers. I'd have to think about it more, though. I'd have to strategize.
All good. It's been a heated debate on this on the network.
What did you say? Was there a consensus at all?
6 Yankoff. I think 12 donuts, 18 miles, 24 beers, because I think I could run more than.
Yeah,
I feel like the higher the running, the better it is for you, because you're gonna need to burn calories at some point. So like,
I think I'd run 12 miles after thinking about it more.
Yeah.
I think I'd run 12 miles.
I gotta go do some deep dive and figure out what Levitan did. Maybe next time he comes on, I'll ask him about it too. But anyways, Jack, I'll let you go. Apologies for putting you on the spot, but I think that was a great little part of the segment there. We'll chat soon. Have a great rest of your day.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome stuff there from Jack. Appreciate it. All right. Curious what you guys would do in the chat. My favorite part about doing the show is going off the rails.
I think it's got to be 12 miles.
You think 12 miles?
Yeah, 12 miles, 18 donuts, and 24 beers. Like standard cans of a light beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd do the 24 there.
Yeah. Maybe
Get out the old funnel.
Yeah. 6 miles, 12 miles, 18 donuts, 24 yanks. God damn, Mike. Jesus Christ. All right, before we get into our next guest here, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors over at FanDuel.
I'm sure they love that segment right before their ad read.
FanDuel is making Week 15 even bigger with a chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets this Thursday night. That's right, $2 million. Here's how it works. Opt in and place an anytime touchdown on the Falcons versus the Buccaneers, and using your profit boost token, if you're the player of the game, you'll earn a share of $2 million in bonus bets. $1 million for each touchdown scored. So, hey, if your guy gets the first and the last, he has a chance. You have a chance at winning $1, maybe $2 million in bonus bets there, depending on how many people pick that player. Tons of options tonight. I feel like the best way to target things is to look towards either that Tampa Bay running back room or the wide receiver room with Jalen McMillan, Mike Evans potentially coming back here. I'm going to throw my dart. This is probably a bad one, but I feel like Bucky Irving should not be priced at plus money to score a touchdown. I feel like that is just wrong. He should be in that at least minus 105 range. Is that good for your bonus bets? Probably not, but I think that just scanning the board, I think the Bucky Irving might be mispriced, but might be wrong. Anyways, so whatever you got a feeling on about the opening drive or you're banking on a clutch finish, now's the time to get in the game. Visit FanDuel.com/forwardprogress. Download the app today and get started. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas and affiliates, Kansas Star Casino. 19 plus and physically located in Ontario, or 18 plus present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in must apply. Profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issues and all withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visiting Gambling Helpline MA.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call Connex Ontario at 1-866-531-2600. Visit connexontario.ca. All right. Let's get back on the track here. Writes articles for The Ringer, also does some podcasts for The Ringer. Anthony Dabbundo is back. Big Colts fan. How's it going, Anthony?
I'll tell you what, it's been an interesting week. An interesting year, really. Yeah. I mean, we started the year with no expectations. The Athletic poll, we had the lowest hopes of any fan base. And honestly, I felt that way. And now we get all this build up, 7-1, all excited. The season comes crashing down. And here comes old man Phillip Rivers to try to save the season. I mean, it's such a crazy arc. But I'm certainly more excited, just as a pure fan, to watch Phillip Rivers than I would ever be for Brett Rippon or Riley Leonard. So let's ride, baby.
Let's sling it. I love it. So quickly before we get into the QB situation, I know you said that you started the year sort of as the I guess not too happy with where the organization was at, but obviously the first 8-10 weeks of the season was incredible for this Colts team. Do you feel sort of robbed of a special season with the injury attrition that the team has sort of had to face over the last couple of weeks? Not only Daniel Jones, but also trading 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, and then him getting hurt and being out for a little bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, even when they were 7-1, you could have poked holes in some of the defensive numbers. You could have said, well, how sustainable is this really? We should probably trust our priors that say that this wasn't supposed to be a great team, so why are we all of a sudden going to assume that they were a great team? All reasonable things to say, honestly. But I was excited. I was enjoying it. I was just taking it week by week and not worrying about what it means or what's going to happen next year or how are they going to buy in long-term into Daniel Jones. But once you make that trade, it does change things because now there are stakes on the season. You've artificially inserted a real long-term and medium-term impact to the franchise, and then for it to all come crumbling down like this, it does feel like a real gut punch.
Yeah, no, it's very, very unfortunate there. I'm curious, this is sort of like off of the train of thought here. Are you guys, you think you keep Daniel Jones next year with the thought that he has this, like, coming off kind of like a major injury? Like, what, I wonder what, looking way far ahead here, but like, what's here?
That's the question I've thought probably more about this week than anything else, to be honest with you, besides trying to figure out who's going to win football games on Sunday. I don't know. I mean, like, reasonably, he wouldn't be back until October or November of next year. So who's your week 1 quarterback? Like, they should put up odds for that. I have no idea. You could convince me it's Anthony Richardson. You could convince me it's somebody outside the organization. You could convince me Daniel Jones has played his last snap for the Colts, and I probably believe you. So it is a weird dynamic that is now set up here where it could turn into a game of chicken between Jones and the Colts this summer. Are they actually going to want to pay him? I mean, I don't know how you could.
Yeah, no, it's tough there, but yeah, because coming off the major injury, you don't know how he's going to look. Maybe that'll be factored in if they do pay him for a contract. Another Jones out there could be a good stopgap, though. Maybe Mac Jones might be someone they look to trade for. But again, you just gave up 2 first-round picks. You might not want to be giving up more assets to sort of figure this out, or maybe you do. All right, let's talk about this week, though. Do you have a feel for who is starting this week at quarterback for the Colts? To me, bringing in Phillip Rivers was like kind of like a signal that they don't think Riley Leonard is going to start this week. Do you have a feel for it? Do you think Riley Leonard might start? If Riley Leonard is not healthy, is it for sure going to be Phillip Rivers, or do you think Brett Rippon is the guy right now this week? Because, like, having not played football for a while, Phillip Rivers does look a little bit, let's say, little bit bigger than he normally does. He's not really fully in game shape, and the couple weeks won't really change that much. But even just like getting into game field, like starting a game on like 5 days notice is pretty tough here. Do you have any feel for the starting quarterback situation?
I mean, there is a market up at one of the PMs. 87% is where he's listed right now. I mean, that feels a little high, but you don't bring Phil Rivers in on a private plane, fly him in, have him come in for multiple workouts, change your practice schedule, do all of these machinations to try to make this happen, to then be like on Friday, oh, I don't know, maybe it's not a great idea if we start him. Like, it'd have to go really, really bad. And all the indications at camp or at practice yesterday from the reporters on the ground were that it was fine. Obviously, it wasn't great, but it was fine. I just think that Shane Steichen knows he has a definitely losing hand with Brett Rippon and with Riley Leonard potentially playing on a bad knee. He probably has a losing hand starting Phil Rivers against this defense, the Seattle defense. But, you know, maybe, just maybe, you can get one good game out of him out of nowhere. I mean, it seems highly improbable. It could blow up in their faces, but there is a galvanizing effect of a guy like Rivers coming in with his charisma, with his attitude. He's played with a lot of these guys. Quentin Nelson, Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor were on the 2020 Colts that went 11-5. So he has organizational familiarity and comfort there. So I think it will be Rivers. Not saying I would go, bet 87 cents or anything, but I think it will be him on Sunday.
Do you think it's going to be him this week? Because that market is just at any point throughout the season, just for him to play a snap for a football team. So yeah, I might be looking at a different market though, but yeah,
right.
There's one.
Well, I feel like if he's going to play, he's going to play.
We out the gate against Seattle. Right. Like that's so like that's kind of scary. Like I feel bad for him. Like he's a grandpa. I don't want him to have his first game in 3 years against this like absolutely very, very tough Seattle defense, and he's gonna have to like if he is playing. Listen, I get it. He's gonna have to play the Houston Texans. I think it's week 17 or week 18. So
week 18.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one here. But yeah, listen. Regardless, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what's going on. Like if you're Mike McDonald and you're like prepping defensive game plans this week, and you find out on Monday morning that it could be Phillip Rivers. I can't even imagine what he's thinking. Like, wait, what is he going to start watching? Like the high school tape from the high school that Rivers has been coaching at, since apparently they've been running a watered down version of the same offense with Rivers' kid. Like, there is no tape, there's no anything. So I don't know. I mean, it's a fascinating experiment. I guarantee you more people will tune in for Phillip Rivers. So if you're treating the NFL as an entertainment product, you should start the guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And maybe this is all part of the 4-year Shane Steichen succession plan for quarterback where, hey, we don't know what's happening with the Colts this year, next year, the year after, but maybe 4 years from now we get Phillip Rivers' kid starting for the Indianapolis Colts. We'll see. We will see. Let's flip over and talk some World Cup because I want to get into that with you. We haven't really had much World Cup talk on the show. I wanted to get your initial reactions from the World Cup draw. Let's put aside how long the ceremony was, how bad Wayne Gretzky is at like reading stuff off a card.
Caraco.
Yeah, that was Caraco. What else? It was like Macedonia, I think was another one. Like anyway, Jordan. Brutal. What were your initial reactions here to the World Cup draw?
Yeah, I think big picture, the group stage in the current format really isn't all that important for these top teams, especially like when you think about a World Cup market, even for example, like a futures market, there's only 8 teams that have ever won the World Cup. There's 6 of the current top 6 in the odds are those 6 plus Italy and Uruguay, who I don't really think are contenders for this one. So you start to look around and you think, all right, can anybody reasonably get knocked out in a format like this? Because in the old format, we saw it over and over again. We saw Germany famously win the 2014 World Cup and then miss the knockouts in 2018. We've seen plenty of nations like Spain in 2014 get knocked out by the Netherlands and Chile in the round of so that kind of jeopardy doesn't really exist to the same level when you have 32 teams out of 48 advancing and the field is a little bit more watered down. So I think from a market perspective, one of the ways to look at this is like, all right, let's map this out. Like who's going to probably win group A, group B, C, D, E, whatever. And how does the draw break as a result of that? And so ultimately the team that by far I think got the toughest draw is France. Not only does France get the toughest group by ELO with Senegal and Norway, who are top 20 teams in their group. So they're going to be challenged immediately. But even if they win their group, they're probably getting Germany in the round of 16, assuming the Germans win their group. That's a tough draw. Then they could get the Netherlands in the quarterfinals on the same half as Spain. So that half seems to be the tougher half. Now, this can and will change from now till then. But in terms of France, who I think is the most talented team in the field, they actually got the toughest path. And thus, could make it a little bit more difficult for them to actually win this whole thing.
Yeah. Do you see someone who has like talk about France having like a tougher path because where if they graduate out of the group stage, they have likely be playing Germany in that in the bracket. Do you see someone with like an easy path in the bracket who's like kind of potentially a dark horse that could go far as a result of where they got in their draw?
Yeah, I mean, with dark horses, you're kind of looking at your second tier teams. So you're not looking at your, Canada would probably be, potential dark horse, but I would not go that far. But I'm saying like of your top 8. So like if you assume the top 8 or so are like France, Netherlands, Spain, Brazil, England, Argentina, Portugal, Germany, like you don't really know where those second place teams are going to end up in the draw yet. So I think it's probably harder and you're just more evaluating on team quality. So if you're looking at like dark horses, I like the first one that jumps out to me, and Elo likes them. And I've made some money betting on them in the qualifiers and in the Copa America the last couple of years, is Ecuador. They only gave up 5 goals in all of World Cup qualifying in South America. Their XG numbers were elite defensively. They have multiple, top 5 league regulars and guys who could potentially be breakouts at this World Cup. Kendry Paez, who's on loan at Strasbourg. He's a Chelsea Academy guy, or Chelsea loan army guy, I should say. Moises Caicedo, who's the best Premier League player right now. Piero Hincapié, who's been playing for Arsenal. Like they have a lot of guys that make up the spine of their team that are very tough to beat. They get put in a group that's pretty tricky, but like they're going to be a threat to Germany, I think, in that group because the Germans are a little bit fragile defensively. They're a team that I like as far as making a potential run. When you look down the board, as you start to get into like the super duper long shots of like who could grind their way to something interesting, I actually kind of like Uzbekistan. Their underlying metrics are much better than the sum of their parts. And those kind of teams tend to overperform in these tournaments. I know we just look at like names on the sheet and we say, oh, they're good, they're bad, they're good, they're bad. But Uzbekistan is a team that I think tough group, but could maybe sneak out, and their odds to even qualify are like plus 190. So haven't done a full like deep dive into the second and third tier teams yet, but ultimately those are the two that kind of jumped out for me. All
right. I'm going to put you a bit on the spot here. We have like a new rule. There's going to be water breaks for each half, right at the halfway mark for every single game for the World Cup here. And I was talking about it a little bit earlier with Adrian, Drunken Goon, and we're just trying to like figure out how that might affect things. Like, is this going to benefit teams with maybe not so great fitness? Is it going to benefit teams with better coaches for them essentially getting like an extra timeout per half, or I guess a timeout per half, where you can kind of change things tactically, where you're all grouped together. How could you see this water break affecting things, if at all? And is there anyone that sticks out in your mind in terms of coaching who might be able to take advantage of it?
Ultimately, probably not a ton. I mean, the one underlying thing about this World Cup is that it's happening in North America in the June and July, right? We saw this at the Club World Cup last year, where some of these European teams maybe aren't quite as comfortable playing in the heat, the humidity of North America because they don't really get as much of that in Europe. And you actually saw that where like Bayern and Dortmund, the German teams, when they came for the Club World Cup, they were actually having the subs sit in the locker room, in the dressing room, because they didn't want them to overheat sitting on the sidelines. Now, I think there's going to be some job by FIFA here to prevent playing games in the middle of the afternoon in some of these high stress areas. So you might get like a 9 p.m. kickoff in Miami instead of a 4 p.m. You might get a 9 p.m. kickoff in even like Philly instead of 4. So I think there'll be some of that. Ultimately, I think that's like the timeout stuff. I don't really think it matters. It's, a health measure. It's really actually a money grab disguised as a health measure because FIFA can, show ads and they can make money off of it, right? So yes, they're in the name of player safety prioritizing this, but I mean, I would struggle to find like reasonably say, oh, they have an edge because they get to take a 2-minute break in the middle of the first half. But maybe.
Yeah. All right. I just thought, just brainstorming here, trying to find any edge that we can. Finally, before you head out here, any features that you like outside of the ones that you previously mentioned here in that sort of second level or third level of teams?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this is necessarily plus EV, but my pick for the World Cup is probably going to be England. I think football's coming home, and I know it's like it's a joke. It's a constant deluge every year where we do the England this, England that. I mean, just on pure talent, I think France is probably the only team that's got more depth and talent in attacking players because of, the breakouts from Olise and Doué and Dembele joining Mbappe. Like, it's hilarious and absurd how talented they are. But I think tactically, France is a little bit undercooked. And then you look like Spain, I still have questions about their defense. I know they were the best team at the Euros a couple summers ago, and they were so impressive, but I think their defense still has real issues. England is the best combination of attacking talent with Kane, with Saka, defensive talent. I mean, they've been the best defensive team in the world for the better part of 4 or 5 years under Southgate. Southgate just never figured out how to get the attacking tactics right, the kind of the risk dial. And I think Tuchel, with his tactical acumen, can do a much better job of that. And you've already seen it a little bit with there being better numbers in qualifying. And they have another midfielder now. It was just Declan Rice for years. And there was like, who do we play next to him? Is it going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold? Is it going to be, they even tried Kobe Mainoo, who's been a little bit up and down at Man United. But now they have a guy in Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest who's really taken a step forward into the potential role of somebody who could be somebody for England at the World Cup and partner with Rice to kind of give them more stability and balance. So I think England's probably the most well-rounded team. Granted, this is knockout tournament soccer, so there's probably going to be a bounce one way or another that determines this that is pretty random. But I mean, England from a path perspective also didn't get the worst of it. Brazil, Portugal, Argentina, potentially on their half. I would say France and Spain are better than those teams as currently constructed. Brazil's in an identity crisis. Portugal's been a bit of a tournament fraud the last few tournaments. So, I mean, obviously Argentina's Argentina, but I think they're on the easier half potentially as well.
All right. Appreciate that little bit of insight there. Hopefully, listen, I'm looking out for your Colts this week. Hopefully Phillip Rivers can come in, be electric. I'm going to be watching that game. I know you will be as well. Anthony, appreciate you joining us. We'll chat soon.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome stuff there from Anthony Dabbundo. You can check him out on Twitter as well. Link in the description down below. All right. We're going to bring on Hitman, but before we do, play Game of Guess the Line.
Let's do it. We got 3 players up on the screen here. Jason is going to try and guess the line on all 3 of these. He has 3 guesses. I'll give him whether it's over or under his first 2 guesses, see if he can get it on the 3rd try. So we'll jump straight into it. Denny Avdia today as the Blazers visit the New Orleans Pelicans. Points, rebounds, and assists.
I have no idea. Honestly, here's the problem.
He's having a fantastic season.
Okay, let's go. Here's the thing. I know I'm cooked when I see the guy on my screen and I'm like, I don't know who that is. So
he's pretty good.
Okay.
Familiar
Was he? Is he second, third year player? Or has he been playing in the league for a while now?
He must be fifth year.
Okay. I've heard his name before. I just never seen his face.
No, this might be his 6th year now.
All right. I've heard him before. I can tell you that much. All right. Can I steal Colts guess or no? I was gonna go 30.5. I'll just go 30.5. Then I'll steal Colts guess second.
Over.
Sounds like it's way over. I'm going to go one below equal at 36.5.
Over.
Oh, my gosh. 43.5.
Yes. You got it. Third guess comes home. All right, next up, we have Mike Evans. His return, longest reception. Colts gone with 21.5 on this one.
Okay, Colts always wrong, so I'm going to go, I'll probably go a little bit lower than him, and I'm going to go 20.5.
Lower.
Oh, man, okay. The interesting thing about Mike Evans as well is if he gets 54 yards in every quarter, he'll break the record for consecutive 1,000-yard season, so maybe he's going to need a couple long ones here. But you said lower, so 18.5?
Yes.
There we go.
2 for 2. Final today. Same game.
Longest rush.
Bijan Robinson, as his mom might say. Longest rush.
All right. Bijan Robinson, big play threat. Let's go with 17.5.
Under.
Oh, okay. 15.5?
Yes.
There we go.
3
Look
for
at that.
3
Wow.
today.
Wow. No, Connor Hartle in the chat. He doesn't know ball. Look, I know ball. I beat him. Beat him in all these.
Well, he only got one guess each.
All right. You know, you're too high on Bijan. See, I like doing this because it's almost like a way of intuitively like betting, right? Like, so you're gonna like equal. If you think it's 19.5 and it's 16.5, right? You should probably bet it's over.
You have to be familiar enough with the market
of course.
that your opinion is.
Of course.
There.
Of course. Maybe a little fun game we play.
And the NFL market is so efficient that you guessing the line is probably not going to beat the market.
Who knows? Equal knows ball though. I trust him. Anyways, someone who I think would be really good at this game would probably be our next guest here because he is one of, if not the best NFL prop bettor that I know. Hitman, how's it going?
What's going on, guys?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Excited to get into things. Did you catch our little guess the line segment beforehand? Were you there? Did you see it or no?
No, I did not. What happened?
No, we just 3 players list one of their props, and we have to guess what it is, like what it's lined at right now.
Say it again? Sorry.
That's all right. Maybe we'll get you on next time to do it. We have 3 players listed. One of them was Bijan Robinson, for example. Let's use him. And it was his longest rush. We just had to guess what the number was at right now on FanDuel.
It's not a market I pay attention to much. Let me guess. 16.5.
15.5. You were really
Pretty
close. You were really close. That's close
Pretty
enough.
good.
Close enough. All right, let's get into things here. Biggest thing I want to talk about, biggest thing for this game is the wide receiver grouping of the Buccaneers. We've kind of been waiting for this moment all year where they finally all get healthy. Now, how healthy are they? All of them? It remains to be seen. Is Mike Evans fully at 100%? Is he at like 80%? Same with Jalen McMillan. Between the 4 guys right now, Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, how do you see the target share and the route running shaking out here for these guys?
My best guess is that Egbuka and Godwin are the wide receiver 1 and 2 as far as routes run, and that Evans is going to be the wide receiver 3, but he commands. He could have the number 1 target share, at least like when he's on the field. He might have the number 1 target share of those 3 players. So I'll be honest, like when I seen the openers come out, like Evans opened at 53.5 receiving yards. We're down to 39.5 now. I think it's been bet into place that what I'm saying, what my handicap is pretty much, I think, bet into place. Now, it's honestly at the point that if you hear something like that says that Evans is like full go, going to run his normal amount of routes, then like the over would have value. But I suspect that he's going to be limited based off what the Bucs did with Chris Godwin when he came back from his injury. I could see it being pretty similar to that, where they kind of ramp Evans up and he's not full go until maybe next week.
All right, let's move over and talk the receivers for the Falcons, who are like kind of a big mess, we'll call them, without Drake London, who's really their main guy. Of the guys available right now, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, even David Sills, who caught like who was thrown at 4 times last week. Any read into this situation? Kyle Pitts right now lined at 59.5. Darnell Mooney 36.5. David Sills 20.5. Even Bijan Robinson right now around the 40.5 range. Any read on this passing game for the Falcons?
I think that, again, the Bucs defense is a run funnel, or excuse me, a pass funnel. I could see Atlanta having a little bit more passing success than they've had in recent weeks in this game. So I kind of lean towards Cousins over and maybe some of the pass catchers. Now, if there was a pass catcher that I would lean over, I'd say like this probably has to be the week for Darnell Mooney. Like it's now or never to finally get something going. I mean, they've hyped him up about him getting back to 100% and needing to get him going for weeks. It has not happened. Came close last week. He had a 40-something yard touchdown called back where he just stepped out of bounds and didn't fully reestablish himself, and it ended up not counting. But I could see this Falcons passing game being a little better than the market thinks. So I could see maybe a lean towards Cousins pass yards.
Slight lean towards Cousins over pass yards. Anything else you see in this game in terms of like just how you think it might play out for either side of the ball?
I'm kind of torn on Baker Mayfield because, listen, he's obviously playing hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously struggled a lot in recent weeks, but it is a pretty decent matchup, and you now have what is one of the deepest wide receiver rooms in the entire NFL, and also some pretty good pass catching running backs also. So I'm kind of torn on the Buck stuff. Like if Mayfield could get going, because this is a pretty low number for him. So it's kind of directionally where I'm looking on that. But yeah, I think that the big thing for me pregame is figuring out what's going to happen with the Tampa guys. Like even like Jalen McMillan is a guy that we have to figure out. Like, is he going to be the wide receiver 4 tonight? Now, I like, and if he is the wide receiver 4 over Tez Johnson and Shepard, which I think he will, but if he is, then what does that mean? Because like if Mike Evans is close to full go, how many routes are really left for a guy like Jalen McMillan? Also, you see like Payne Durham is 12.5 right now. Like if he's going to be out there for as many routes as Cade Otton, that could be low also. Because I mean, Cade Otton's a guy that has been lined as high. When there was receiver injuries, he was lined as high in the high 30s, and probably would have been lined in like the low to mid 20s in this game. So if Payne Durham does just end up taking all of his routes, maybe he's a little bit cheap also. But not much for like official plays right now.
All right, I'm gonna pick two props here. We're gonna combine them together, and you're gonna finish out this SGP with 2 picks that you like as well, that you think could kind of roll with this narrative that I'm going with here. So I want to take the alternate spread in this game, and I want to buy a couple points on the Falcons, and I want to take the Falcons at plus 3.5. I want to combine that with, I like the look from Payne Durham here over 12.5. So I'm going to steal one of yours. Finish it off. Give me 2 other props that you would like here in a scenario where the Atlanta Falcons cover a 3.5 point spread and Payne Durham gets over 12.5 points. Or sorry, receiving yards, not points.
It would be a Cousins over at that point, because if Atlanta's going to win, I think it's probably going to have to be through Kirk Cousins plays better than he has in this season up to date, and they end up upping their pass rate a little because they've been so low. Their run rate over expectations been so high. I think in that scenario, it's Cousins. So I'd probably go Cousins over.
Cousins over. Let's put 250 plus passing yards there. And then one more prop. Would it be like a receiver to get to go over on his receiving yards? Is there someone you like on this offense to maybe go under their receiving yards? Is it like a Tyler Algier under 8.5 receiving yards? What do you think there?
Yeah, we could go if the pass. No, not Algier. Yeah, you're really forcing it on me at this point, but I'd probably go. I'd go with the Mooney.
All right, Mooney's over.
I think like daily fantasy guys like also like a Mooney cousin stack might not be bad.
Okay, all right.
Where you pivot from not going with Pitts, especially with Pitts questionable.
Yes,
and maybe a little banged up going into this game.
Yeah, I've even seen some like David Sills love on Twitter. So like maybe kind of like people thinking a little too deep in their bag after like a bad Mooney game. Buy when Mooney's like a little bit lower right here. So all right, force played from Hitman. We're also gonna do one more force play for the anytime touchdown score. So just be ready.
They've been the best force plays in the industry.
So Jacob was saying this. Your force plays are better than most people's regular plays. So quickly recap, though. Payne Durham over 12.5 receiving yards. Atlanta Falcons plus 3.5 on the spread. Kirk Cousins 250 plus passing yards. And Darnell Mooney, over 36.5 receiving yards. You can combine that together. Get 13 plus 1350 over at FanDuel. All right. Gave you some time to think about an anytime touch. Who do you like here? Is it Payne Durham, who you said might be, if he runs the same amount of routes that Cade Otton does, he's plus 440 right now to score a touchdown? Is it like Sean Tucker at plus 550, who we've seen get some red zone work? Or is it as simple as Bucky Irving, who was plus 115 earlier in the show, and I said, I think that's a good bet, and has now moved to plus 125. I feel like this guy should be in the minus range, but apparently I'm wrong. What are your thoughts on an anytime touchdown score?
I will go with, let's go Baker Mayfield 6-1, just based off the premise that he's been running a lot more in recent weeks. So again, force play, but I could mess around with Baker 6-1.
All right. Baker Mayfield 6-1. It is from the Hitman himself. Hitman, appreciate you joining the show. Any final thoughts before we head out here for the show today, for this game?
No. Let's good game we got tonight.
Yeah, excited. Hitman will be joining
the NFC South, the best division in football.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can get let's get a Falcons win here for our friend over on the Carolina Panthers. I think that'd be the best scenario for
Unfortunately, I bet against our friend's team this week. I bet the Saints this week. So yeah, we'll take that. We'll take the Falcons win and then if the Saints Panthers go win by 1 or 2.
There we go. So, let's go for a tie there. There. Hey, man, appreciate you joining the show. We'll see you on the fourth quarter in our watch along. We'll chat soon.
I'll be there. Yep.
Awesome stuff there. From the Hitman, the force play is Baker Mayfield 6-1 anytime touchdown scorer, which is one of the better prices in markets. I mean, it's pretty widely available at 6-1. But yeah, still best price in market is 6-1. You can get that at FanDuel as well as some other spots. All right. It's time. It's Edgework overtime. It's not wee fist in the chat. See you guys in the chat. Been waiting for this moment. I also saw a Edgework question earlier. Whoever dropped that in the chat, do you guys mind just dropping that again so we can circle back to it? It might have been RW Fan's comment that he retracted. Might have been that. Anyways.
I think it was that one.
Okay. All right. Never mind. All right.
Moretto's ready.
Moretto's ready to go. We'll bring him up first. Alex, how's it going? Oh,
he's muted.
No, we were on like a six
Pretty
player,
good. Yesterday was
guest
perfect.
win streak
It was good
on mutes. The guy, our own guy gets us. It's crazy.
Right. How's that?
There we go. We're back.
All right. I don't know what happened, man. This platform switched things up on me, so I didn't change anything.
Pressure's getting to you. Do you want to just start things and we'll get So Money's opinion when he comes in next, or do you have any?
Yeah, we can. Whatever you want to do.
Actually, how about this? RW Fan with the Edgework question: should we full Kelly Montreal to miss the playoffs or double Kelly?
Okay.
I first thought it was a serious question when I started reading it. And then I got to the second line when it said full Kelly. I'm like, all right, well, I have to finish this.
Question, to be honest with you. I think they're in trouble. I think they're in a little bit of trouble. Seems like they are panicking for the first time, and they have no reason to. They were in a horrible spot at this time last year. And I mean, look, I'm not going to like reiterate everything I wrote in the newsletter yesterday, but I wrote about this, like how they were really bad last year early on. Montembeault was really struggling. He was even worse than he was this year, and they just kind of wrote it out with him and let him figure it out, and he did. And I don't know why they're not doing the same thing right now. They called Fowler up, and great, like Fowler is probably going to be awesome at one point in time. I don't think he's going to be awesome just yet in the NHL. I don't think he's the answer right now, but whatever. Like, I think they'll ultimately be fine. They've obviously got a bunch of injuries up front, but they're still like a young, dynamic team that is going to go through ups and downs. Like when you have like all your best players for the most part, like, I mean, I wouldn't call like Caulfield and Suzuki young at this point. They've been around the league for a while, but like Hudson, Demidov, like all these guys are relatively young, Kapanen, like you're going to have growing pains. So I think it's pretty understandable that they're just going through one again right now. And I'm sure they're going to go through another upswing like they, did several times last season too. Just the volatility is kind of to be expected.
All right. Also, funnily enough, if you go look over on FanDuel and look just at any futures and find the Montreal Canadiens, for some reason, Jacob Fowler's picture is there for all of their futures. I don't know what they're trying to tell us with that. Just kidding. But yeah, pretty funny little, I guess, visual bug there on FanDuel. All right. We're waiting for some things here and start with the first game on the board and get your opinions. Give me a game that you're going to be betting on. How about that? Let's start with a game that you.
I bet a lot of games tonight.
Oh, there we go. All right, I lit a fire under you after.
I bet a lot of games tonight. Yeah. We're not fucking around today like we did the other day. So
okay, one more question in the chat here. Can we get Moretto's opinions on Demidov not being as good as Seneki in the Calder race right now?
I mean, small sample. Demidov's pretty awesome. He's also playing with like Alexander Texier, who was on waivers a week ago, and Kapanen, who is a 21-year-old center who's never really played in the NHL. Like Seneki's got legitimate line. Seneki's awesome. Like I love him. I just think the like context matters in this situation is what I'd say. Both really good players. I think in different situations you'd see different results from both players as well. So that's basically my 2 cents on that.
All right, all good. Just enough jabs being thrown your way from the Edgeburg chat.
Yeah, no, it's never enough, apparently. Never enough.
Let's start with the Hurricanes and the Capitals. I'll let you lead here. And I'll bring up So Money as well. I see him in the background. So Money, how's it going?
Yeah, let him lead on this one. Let him go here.
All right, Capitals, Hurricanes. Hurricanes right now -118 on the money line. Totals at 6, -118 towards the over. So Money, on the spot right now. I'm going to let you lead. Anything you like here?
Yeah, I bet the under in this game. I think that both teams, especially Washington, have really tightened up defensively. I don't see any indication where that would not continue tonight. In what should be a tight, it's still December, but tight playoff style kind of game. So I think that Washington will do what they've been doing in terms of playing better defensively. They did give up quite a few chances against Columbus, and Logan Thompson bailed them out quite a bit there. But I think that against Carolina, I think both teams will be playing closer to the vest here.
All right, both teams closer to the vest. Looking at the under 6, -104 at FanDuel. Alex, you came with a lot of bets today. Is this one of them?
No, this is not one of them. I don't have a bet on this game. That would definitely be the way I lean. I'm still a little hesitant with Washington, but I do agree that they've definitely really tightened things up. I just didn't ultimately bet it. So congrats on the winner. So Money.
All right. Let's move on to the next game then. San Jose and Toronto. Toronto -200. Favorites at home. Get a little Celebrini game for the Toronto fans here. Totals at 6.5, -122 towards the under. Is Hildebee's time up? Is the clock ticking? Are we like finally gonna bet an over on this Leafs team here with, I mean, the streak of goaltending luck that they've been getting. Alex, what are your thoughts on this game?
We are not. We're going to ride this goaltending luck.
Okay.
Less to do with the Leafs goaltending, although it has been outstanding. More to do with the fact that San Jose just can't generate it all. Leafs are not exactly generating all that much either. They've also tightened up a little bit defensively, and like when they haven't, at least they've had the goaltending to kind of rescue them. A little bit scared of the fact that Ryan Reeves is probably scoring twice tonight based on his comments earlier today, but yeah, I like the under here. We got the Nedeljkovic start, which was not ideal because I bet this before, assuming Askarov, who apparently is like unable to play because he was sick 2 days ago. Like, I don't understand. So anyways, whatever. Go Nedeljkovic. I don't care. I still think this is going to be such a low event game that it won't matter. Under 6.5 to minus 120. The minus 122 at FanDuel is okay too. But yeah, widely available here. I like that one. I like that one quite a bit.
All right. So Money, do you agree with Moretto here?
Yeah, I do. I think that the plus money 6 here is even fine as well. I had slight reservation about in general. I like, and we touched on this earlier, that San Jose is trying to play better defensively. I do have a concern about the way that they played against Philadelphia. I thought that was a game that, even though it stayed under, I thought that was a game that was a little bit too wide open for my liking in terms of San Jose giving up more chances than they should have. I think that they get back to the way that they've been wanting to play. Yeah, downgrade from Nedeljkovic, but I mean, if you listen to the show the last few years, you've known that he's one of those guys that that I do like quite a bit. So I think that he'll be okay, and is wanting to play low event games anyways, and they've done a better job tightening it up defensively. So I do agree. I think it's gonna be a low event game. 6.5 at up to minus 122. You can get under 6 at plus 105. I think either way, I think you're good.
All right. So you're telling me I'm picking the wrong game to go to here. Good to know. Good to know. Golden Knights taking on the Flyers. Golden Knights minus 152 on the road, heading into Philadelphia. Totals at 5.5. Juice towards the over, minus 118. So Money, I'm going to start with you first. What do you think about the game?
So I expected Schmid to get the start, and he is, just because I can't see them playing Carter Hart 3 games in a row this early and on his way back here. I did like the under. Like the concept of the under, I liked it. However, the number doesn't make sense. I think that at 5.5, with the way I had concerns about Vegas defensively before their game against the Islanders, just because I felt that they were kind of getting away from the way that they were playing previous to that game. And we saw it ended up being, it wasn't so much a wide open game, but it was, we had some bad goaltending. We had some bad breaks in that game. I still have those same concerns with Vegas. Even against the Flyers on the road, I can't do it at the 5.5. So I will pass this game, even though, like I said, I like the idea of the under, but I can't do it on the number though.
All right, the idea of the under is there. Just got to get the right number. Maybe we'll get it later today, or maybe Alex likes the idea and the number. Alex, are you in the same boat?
No, I'm not. I got nothing on this game. I do have a lot of bets, I promise, but okay. I do not have anything on this game. And I know that we have a little bit of a hard out here at 1:30 because we got to get some production help over to circle back. So I will keep it short. No bet for me here. Sucks that Carter Hart is not playing in this one in Philly. Would have been fun, but yeah, nothing.
Probably better, probably calculated from the team and better for him, for his sake. Anaheim, New York, we are all Ducks, quack, 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 quack. Ducks plus 100 right now on the money line, heading into New York, playing the Islanders. Totals at 6.5, minus 112 towards the over. Are we all Ducks today, Alex, or are you looking at a total? What are you thinking?
I'm not a Duck. I'm not an Islander either, but I am an over. I'm an over here. I like over 6.5 with the Riddick confirmation that we got earlier. I know that Islanders have been playing a little bit better defensively. They've been tightening up, but you know what? Like, and honestly, all goes out the window when the Ducks are in these games because they just play so high octane, high event, run and gun. They're just going to get in your face. They do not care. They have that young kind of bravado, and it's awesome. It's a lot of fun. Quenneville is just letting those guys rip, and I love it. And I think the Islanders have no issues being sucked into a game like that at the end of the day because they were playing that hockey for a while at the start of the season. So now we got Riddick and Husso. Pretty terrible goaltending matchup. So yeah, I'm in here on an over.
All right, and on the over, 6.5 -112 at FanDuel. So money to you. You like the over as well? The concept of it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got 2 plays in this game.
Okay.
Love the over. Complete agreement on that. That Alex touched on in terms of the style of play that we're getting here. It should be a fun game. I think we've touched on the Islanders quite a bit in terms of they're not our Big Brothers Islanders. Sorokin builds them out quite a bit, but it's and we've seen this trending this way the last couple of years now. They do play. They do end up in these high event games when they play teams like Anaheim. The Ducks. We're gonna keep betting the Ducks. You keep putting up plus money on them against mid-tier teams, and we're just gonna keep betting them. So, yeah, we did get lucky against Pittsburgh, right? So, like, let's keep things in perspective. I thought that they were very, very fortunate to get the result in that game. But that's the way it goes. They're coming through for us. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good mojo going on. I've mentioned this last show. They're not going anywhere. I think that they're making the playoffs. They're going to stick around all year. And at some point against mid-tier teams, we're not going to get plus money on them like this anymore.
All right, good mojo from Somo, telling us the Ducks.
Somo Mojo.
Somo Mojo, telling us to bet the Ducks plus 100 here at FanDuel. We are all Ducks. Quack, 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 pack. Let's get into the next game. We got Ottawa and Columbus. Ottawa on the road, slight favorites, -114 at FanDuel. Totals at 6.5 towards the under, -118. So money, I'll let you lead. Anything you like in this game?
Yeah, I think Ottawa's a little bit short based on the way that they've been playing. They haven't been getting the results, but I think that their play has been fine for the most part. Besides that Rangers game at home last week, I thought that they didn't look good there, but. For the most part, I've been fine with their play. I haven't been fine with the play of Columbus. I think that it's a little. I was high on them, and it's. I just don't know if that team is good enough. They haven't looked good for a while now. They end up in these high-scoring games in situations that they really shouldn't. There's no reason to, and. Yeah, they're having a tough time defending. They're having a tough time scoring right now. Everything is kind of all the good vibes from last year are the walls seem like they're kind of closing in on this team now. So it's unfortunate, but it happens sometimes. So I think that we should continue to see the decline of the Columbus Blue Jackets this year. And for us, it gives a short price for their opponent. So in this case, I did lay the number on Ottawa. I like them up to -118, and yeah, we're still able to get that. So I did play the Sens here.
All right, Ottawa -114, available at FanDuel. Alex, are you also laying that, or do you have a total in this game?
I bet 2 things in this game. I did bet the Senators as well. Sorry, I almost said the Jackets there. I bet the Senators as well. I agree with everything So Money said. Just to add, I don't need to add really anything other than the fact that it's also the first game back from a bit of a road trip for Columbus, which is typically just a tough spot. The reason I bet the over was because we got the Elvis Merzlikins confirmation. I'm not sure why exactly they went to Merzlikins here, but they did, and there's a significant difference at this point between him and Jack Reeves, who has been really, really good this year. So I'm content with it. I like that they went with Merzlikins, and it got me on an over because honestly, the Sens have been creating a lot. They're going to be scoring a bunch of soon. The goals are coming for them with how much they're creating. Defensively, they haven't been as tight, and Columbus is pretty much unable to provide much resistance defensively. So I think this is going to be a sneaky. I can't believe this. I'm betting Sens overs at this stage now already. Like how much we've changed. I will say though, like at current prices, Sens are right where I bet them, which I think is fine. Over is not. I bet it at 6 minus 120. So we're kind of looking at like minus 105, 6.5 now, which is like the best available. I would say a smaller bet at that price. All right. Definitely a smaller play. I don't love it at that number as much.
Well, at minus 104, which you can get at FanDuel,
yes,
it's slightly better price than that minus 105 that you mentioned. So smaller bet there. I'll put that in brackets. Smaller bet. Let's get into the next game here. Montreal and Pittsburgh. Penguins right now minus 128 favorites. Totals at 6.5 towards the under. You're wearing your Habs hat. Does that mean you have a Habs bet?
No, I bet the Penguins.
Boo.
Sucks. I bet it earlier. It's moved. It's run a little bit. High teens where I got it. I think there's still minus 120s out there, which I think are good. I think that's probably the furthest I would go though. Maybe a smaller play once you get to like that minus 125 range. But if you have access to some of those minus 120s that are out there, I think that's still pretty good. Like the Pens are just, honestly, this is a little bit of a fate of the Habs, who are, I think, again, like I said, like I'm not worried about them long term. I think they're just a young team that are going to go through regular ups and downs. It's to be expected. Fowler starting. I did a big deep dive on goalies his age coming into the NHL, when they made their debuts, how old they were, how they performed. If you want to see that, you can go onto the hamburg.bet, the website, subscribe to the newsletter, whatever. I did write pretty extensively about that. I don't think Fowler's going to be great. As good as his college numbers and AHL numbers are, I think he's going to be great one day. I don't think he's going to be great right now. So I'm not necessarily upgrading them, even with how bad their goaltending's been. And Pittsburgh's just been playing really, really good for a while now. And I know they're a little bit banged up, but like so are the Habs, honestly. And we are getting what I think is a little bit too cheap on Pittsburgh after they were really, really unlucky not to be. Sorry, so money. I'm not trying to. I know you had the Ducks the other night, but really unlucky Pittsburgh was to not win that game. So I think we'll get a little bit of a better result for them here.
All right, Pittsburgh minus 128. And sometimes it needs like that climatization period for these goalies to get like ready for the NHL. Very rarely are they ready right out the gate. Just like that.
He's a 21-year-old kid who's played 18 games in the AHL. I mean, it's basically coming straight out of college. It's pretty rare for guys to do that. Spencer Knight did that, and obviously he's great now, but it took him a while to get to this point. So
listen, he's no Dennis Hildeby, so we'll move on. So money. Dennis Hildeby's like 24. So money. Anything you like in this game?
Yeah, I do. I agree with Alex's thoughts in terms of the way the Penguins have been playing. We did get lucky with the Ducks, as well as the over as well. I think that the Penguins are playing a lot better defensively. And against the Ducks, that was a good defensive game too. I thought that they were fine. We just we got the breaks that we needed at the end. Sometimes it's good to get lucky like that. So no problem with the way the Pens are playing. In terms of Montreal, they have been a little they've been getting worse defensively the last few games here. And then for the goaltending, I don't disagree with you guys that he probably won't be good right now, and maybe he'll be good in the future. But my question that I would throw back at you guys is that with the way that Montreal's recent goaltending performance has been, it could it get any worse than that? Right? So like
I'd expect it to be worse.
Yeah, so like even if we keep it like the level of goaltending the same that Montreal has been getting previously, and say that Fowler is not going to be better tonight than the other guys. So fine. So let's say he'll stay the same, which is below average NHL goaltending. So let's say Montreal gets below average NHL goaltending tonight, which is going to be the same level that they've been receiving recently. Yet the market has gone up to 6.5, right? So that's why I played the under here, on the basis of even if he sucks, even if he's below average goaltending, Pittsburgh is still better defensively. So if Pittsburgh is able to score their goals, theoretically they're going to tighten it up, and and then we should have still been at the 6, right? But we got to 6.5 because of the unknown goalie. So yeah, I played the under 6.5 on that basis.
All right, under 6.
I have a question, quick trivia question for both of you guys. Carey Price, his NHL debut came against which team?
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes. Patrick Waugh, his NHL debut came against which team?
Pittsburgh Penguins.
I'm guessing the Penguins.
Ken Dryden, his NHL debut came against which team?
Pittsburgh
The
Penguins.
Columbus Blue Jackets.
All right. Well,
yeah, we're at the quartet of Pittsburgh Penguins debuts here.
one more to add.
One little trivia question.
Sam Montembeault debut against?
I don't know.
Pittsburgh Penguins. No, I just made that up. All right, let's get to the next game here. I believe there's 7 games left. We went through 6. Do us a favor. Halfway point, smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitter, come over to YouTube. Just make sure you're subscribed. That's all I ask. Anyways, Lightning, Devils, Lightning -137 favorites on the road here on the money line, heading into New Jersey. Totals at -124. 6 -124 towards the under. If you like the over in this game, 6 + 102, best price in market available at FanDuel. So, Money, I'll let you lead with this one. Do you like that over of 6 + 102, best price in market?
Yeah, so this one was a little bit of a tough one for me. Devils are struggling. They did win against Ottawa, but they were fortunate to win that game. They still looked very bad defensively, and they didn't generate as much as they should have in that game as well. Tampa Bay's fine. I mean, they went through a losing streak there, but before their game against Montreal, it wasn't like they were playing poorly. They just weren't getting results. So I would expect Tampa Bay to continue playing better defensively. I would expect New Jersey to struggle. I would expect Tampa Bay to keep playing better, but that's reflected in the line, and I would suspect that Jersey's play level keeps the same here, which means that the line is perfectly where it should be with the total, and that keeps me on the sidelines here tonight.
All right, keeping you on the side. Alex, you have anything in this game for us?
I do. I think I'm probably higher than anyone on this Tampa team. Like, I bet them so frequently, it feels like at this point, and I'm betting them again here. I bet them on the – I wasn't going to initially have a bet in this game because I thought it was pretty fair. And then, like, the Timo Meier news came out this morning, and I bet it based off that, like, no Meier tonight for the Devils. And, like, the market hasn't reacted at all. Like, I don't understand. I don't know if, like, someone, if you can help me out here, like, maybe the market was lining up to bet the Devils then, and then once Timo happened, they just kind of settled and said, okay, this is fine. But, like, I don't know. I thought it was fine where it opened, but now without Timo Meier, I think that is a significant loss already, considering who they are already without up front for this Devils team. Like, Meier is their leader in Corsi shot attempts, individual expected goals for. Like, he is a real driver for them offensively. To not have him tonight is significant. And I think that should have been reflected a lot more in this line than it has been. So I bet the Lightning. I mean, there's still like high -120s available, which I think are good. And there's a lot of -130 out there as well.
All right. Yeah, high -120, -137 at FanDuel, so maybe slightly out of the range there. But again, like you said, -130 widely available. You said you were high on the Lightning. I don't think you're as high as Connor, who said Lightning moneyline was the easiest click of my life, or of all time. Sorry, this morning.
And Connor's a Devils fan too, so he knows his team.
Stuff.
I like to hear people when they talk about their teams, and yeah, so I agree.
I love the conviction there from Connor Hartle. Dallas and Minnesota is the next game we have. Dallas, again, another road favorite coming into the Wild, and -142 on the money line for Dallas. Total in this game is 5.5, -120 towards the over. There's some 6 out there as well. Anything you like in this game, Alex?
No. With Zuccarello out, kind of tough. I've talked about how important I think Zuccarello is to this Wild team. Like, him and Kaprizov together are pretty electric, and he does a lot of things for them that kind of fly under the radar. So obviously without him tonight, a bit of a big loss. Boldy's okay to play at least. Still no Marco Rossi. So, like, they're dealing with a bit of situation up front, and I think Dallas is the number's a little bit big, but like that's now I think justified with the absence of Zuccarello. So I didn't do anything here, total or side.
Okay, staying off of this game, let's get in. So money. Anything you like in this game, or you want to go into the next one?
No, let's go on the next one. I've got nothing here.
All right, got nothing here. Let's get into the next one then. St. Louis and Nashville Predators -126 on the money line. Totals at 6, -114 towards the under. So money, I'll let you lead. Do you like anything in this game?
I thought I did. I look at the St. Louis Blues number and I'm like, who are the Nashville Predators to be laying this kind of number at home right now? But then you look at the way that St. Louis has been playing, and they look like shit, right? So even against Nashville, like I can't get there. So I will pass on this game. I hate passing on a game like this with with this number on Nashville, but St. Louis is so bad that even I can't get there.
All right, passing on this one as well. Alex, are you passing on this one again into the next one quick, or anything you got for us here?
I will give out one play at current. I like the over in this game a little bit, just based on how both teams have been playing lately. Bet it at 5.5. 6 plus 100, I think, is decent. I also bet the Preds, but I bet them at -115, and I agree that we're getting to a spot now where -125, I think, is a bit much. But like the Blues are dealing with some injuries. They have not been playing good hockey despite getting results. They've been a bit of a funnel defensively. I don't trust their goaltending, so that's why I kind of like the Preds here and an over. But both of them have moved in my. It's nice to see, but St. Louis is also like pretty banged up front. They're starting a guy tonight named Hugh McGing, which when I pulled up their depth chart, I honestly thought that was a joke. I was like, this is like a creative player on EA Sports. Like, I don't understand. And I looked, I'm like, no, he's real. 27-year-old career AHLer playing his 6th NHL game tonight. So congrats to him and the entire McGing family. Very exciting for them, but I cannot believe this guy was a real player when I saw that name.
Western Michigan hockey.
Yeah.
35 points in 35 games in his 2019-2020 season.
I take pride in knowing a lot of players, and I have literally never heard this name in my life. So
all name team, Hugh McGing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Welcome to the squad. Don't see. You said 5.5 -125, 6 plus money. Not available at FanDuel, but you can find a 6 plus money out there. Just got to go look for it and do a little bit of digging. All right. Next game we have the Bruins and the Jets. Jets -154 on the money line. Totals at 6, -124 towards the over at FanDuel. Alex, I'll let you lead. What you got here?
I will keep it. This have been fun for me lately. They are still not. I think the market still hasn't caught up to just how different this Bruins team is playing to past iterations of this Bruins team. They're a lot more open, a lot leakier defensively, and a lot more feisty offensively. And now we're getting the Korpisalo start, which kind of just sealed it against the Jets team that's been a funnel defensively. So I bet the over here. Would have liked to bet the Bruins, but with Korpisalo in net, I just can't quite do it. Although I do think it's probably still a decent bet. I'm just a bit of a coward. So over 6, -113, -115, all that stuff is good. I like that. Yeah.
All right, over 6, -115 is what you're looking for here. So money. Do you also need that -115 to click the over 6, or you like anything else in this game?
So I fucked up a bit.
Okay, let's do it.
I have bet the Bruins.
Okay,
but everybody will get a better number than me. So I bet the Bruins average price of around +130. I thought that Korpisalo was already confirmed, so I messed that up. And then when the confirmation did come in from him, we saw the market jump on the Jets, and I was like, "You're an idiot." So I do like the Bruins. Obviously, I assume that Korpisalo, the way that they've been doing their goalie rotations, and Korpisalo, yes, he's not as good as Swayman, nowhere near. But after a tough start to the season, I think that the last few games he's been turning it around a little bit. And we've talked about the Bruins. Similar situation to the Ducks in the sense of when you're playing teams that are overvalued, and I'm getting this kind of number on them, I'm going to keep betting the Bruins. So, same thing against the Blues the other night. I really like this Bruins team. They're not going anywhere, and I think that the number is too high now. Granted, Winnipeg and the Islanders are not in the same category. I get that, but are they that much off? Right. So, So I like the Bruins here. I got plus 130. Everybody should be able to get much better than that.
All right, plus 128 at FanDuel. So 135s are out there though. 133 I'm seeing. Maybe you might be getting some buyback here because it was plus 130 earlier at FanDuel, and obviously someone clicked it and moved it to that plus 128 range. Detroit and Edmonton, third last game we have here. Oilers minus 178 on the money line. Totals at 6.5, minus 110 both sides at FanDuel. So Money, I'll let you lead with this one. Anything you like in this game?
Yeah, I do. I played the over. I thought that we might get Pickard in net. Skinner was confirmed, but it doesn't matter. I still like the over here. Detroit, they're a fun team. Similar to the Ducks, they like to get after it. They don't get the same goal production as the Ducks do, but chances, I think you're going to be okay. Edmonton, we know what we're going to get from Edmonton. They're going to score their goals. Maybe Skinner gives up one or two leaky ones here, which is not out of the realm of possibilities. So, we're on the over 6.5 here.
All right, on the over 6.5, which is minus 110 at FanDuel, which is, just about the best price in market. I'm seeing 115s and 120s out there. So take that over at FanDuel if you like it, minus 110. Alex, you agree?
Yeah, my fifth over of the day, which is crazy. Don't usually bet this many overs, but I bet this one as well. All the same reasons, So Money listed. I also just want to add that only So Money in the year 2025 would be disappointed at a Stuart Skinner confirmation. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I like the over no matter what. But this apologist over here is still holding out hope that Skinner is the man. So it is what it is. I still like it. All current numbers I think are good. This should be a pretty high event game.
F them goalies, as So Money has famously said. Panthers, Avalanche should be in my head a lot closer of a game, but odds are not saying that. Minus 235 on the money line for the Avs, who are far and away the best team in the league. I got to adjust my brain on this Florida Panthers team that is still riddled with injuries. Totals at 6.5 towards the under, minus 120. Do you think there's a way that Florida can sneak this one out, so much, or Alex, or do you think that this is the Avs are just by far the best in the league?
I definitely do. I definitely think they can. I didn't bet it. I feel like that's one that I might regret not, but look, this is still a very professional and good Panthers team. Mm-hmm. It's a huge number. When's the last time you saw them? Obviously, I know the situation. It's a back-to-back. They're very, very injured. It's not the same Panthers team, but it's still a very good Panthers team, a well-coached team, a veteran team. Huge number. I didn't bet it. The one thing I want to just say on Panthers right now is I was going to write about this in the newsletter, and I ran out of space this past week. But their unders are getting blasted every single game at post. It is crazy. Every game, we're going from 6 minus 110 to 5.5 minus 110 in 30 minutes. And I am buying back the over every single time. And their games are flying over by the mid-second period. So that's been fun. This is a spot where I don't necessarily love that as much because you want to, theoretically, you're going to see Florida play a very different game against this Avs team. They know how to kind of buckle down. That being said, I still don't necessarily think they have the horses, and I think Colorado will be able to get theirs here, and that'll force Florida to, open up like they've been doing. Their games have been crazy high event. So I didn't bet. At this point, I would never bet a Panthers over early. But I do think if we can get sixes across the board later, which is based on how these have been going, I think that's entirely possible. Then I will come back on an over later on.
All right, coming back on the over later on. Expecting that move would be an official play, but of course, you're going to need that move to come first. So, Money, are you also waiting on this over?
I did bet the under last night in the Florida game, and I was dead wrong. That game ended up 4-3, but really it wasn't even close. Both teams were end-to-end. There were tons of chances in that game. So, Yeah, so I was wrong there. I do think that the Panthers are live tonight, but I just can't get there. So I think that if we can get back to plus 210 range, I'll be forced to bet the Panthers. Right now at below 200, I can't.
Mm.
So I will pass on this game. I will say though too that one thing I'm noticing about Florida too is that they have been playing better. They have turned it around. This is going to be a good test for them because from my charting, when they have turned it around, it was even that 6-3 loss against Edmonton, they were fine. But after that, they played Nashville, Philly, Calgary, Toronto, Nashville, Columbus, Islanders, Utah. Right? So we're stepping up in class here significantly. So I'll be passing on this game, I think, for the most part. But um, I'm more curious to see how Florida responds when they're stepping up in class at such a level here against the Avs.
All right. Yeah. I also noted in the chat as well. Verhaeghe's been on a hot streak since having a kid. 5 goals in 4 games. Scored in 4 consecutive games here. So good stuff there from Carter. Verhaeghe, only guy to not have a kid and produce well this year, has been your guy, number 9 or 9, whatever he calls himself, JJ McCarthy. But I feel like you don't get the effect. It's not the same effect when you're a kid yourself.
Well played.
Well
played. I didn't see that coming, and that got me deep actually. So
last game here, Vancouver and Buffalo. So money, your Canucks. Tired of it. You're tired of it, but I'm going to make you lead with it. Buffalo minus 115 heading into Vancouver. Totals at 6 minus 122. Are you going to meet up with the Sabres post win at the Roxy tonight?
Probably. No. So look, rock bottom pricing here for the Canucks. They are, or they were, well, they still are in some places, home dogs to the Buffalo Sabres, right? Like, they just let that sink in for a bit. Demko, I believe Demko will be back. I haven't confirmed that. I don't even care. So, assuming he's back, it's been a long layoff for him. We saw against the Jets how he was after the long layoff. He didn't look very sharp, and then he got hurt, and then here we are again. So, yeah, Buffalo has been playing better. Canucks were trying to play better. They do play feisty. They try their best, but I mean, when David Kampf is your fucking first line center, like you're not gonna win many games in this league. So, good for the Canucks, for the players, for putting the effort in. I don't really care about this game, and I got nothing here.
All right, got nothing here. Alex, you also have nothing here? Or is this?
Yeah, how can I top that? I have nothing in this game too, and I'm not even going to try and top that. That's perfect.
All right, let's close this one out by listing everything we got for today. Carolina, Washington, under 6 minus 104. Toronto, San Jose, under 6.5 minus 122. Anaheim, New York, Islanders, over 6.5 minus 112. Plus Anaheim money line, looking for the plus monies there. Ottawa money line as well, minus 114. Ottawa, Columbus, over 6.5 minus 104. But brackets, smaller bet. Pittsburgh money line minus 128, under 6.5 minus 122 is what we're looking at in that Pittsburgh and Montreal game. Tampa Bay money line minus 137. St. Louis and Nashville over 5.5 minus 125 is what we're looking for, or an over 6 at plus 100. Boston money line at plus 128. Boston and Winnipeg over at 6 minus 115. Edmonton, Detroit over 6.5 minus 110. A lot of overs today. Anything I missed?
No.
I wasn't listening.
All right, sounds good. Awesome stuff. All right, appreciate you guys for coming on the show. We'll see you guys on here next Tuesday. Unless, are we ever gonna have another guest? Listen, I'm not complaining. I like this crew. But
do we want another guest? If we want another guest, sure, we can figure that out.
It's either that or we adjust the ad read that I get, because every time it says a rotating panel of guests, which couldn't be further from the truth. So
take it up with George.
All right, sounds good. I like this crew. Maybe we'll ask the chat as well. All right, appreciate you guys joining us. We'll talk to you guys on Tuesday.
Yeah, see you guys.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, guys. All right, that wraps up today's show. Do us a favor, smash the like button. I'm asking for the 3rd time today. And if you're watching on Twitter, come over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Double check, just have a quick glance. If you're watching on YouTube, just down, up, is that subscribe button clicked? If it's not, click it. It goes a long way. And you know what? I haven't asked this one as well. It's the holiday season. You're going to be around family for a majority of the time. Make sure you enjoy that time with your family. Also, don't forget to steal their phone. Go to the Hammer HQ on YouTube and click subscribe on their phone as well. It means a lot to us here on the channel. Consider it like a little gift from you to us. We appreciate you guys. Appreciate the OG crew in the chat as well. That wraps up our show for today. It's been a Thursday, December 11th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. We will see you guys right here. Close out the week tomorrow.